You pulled into the driveway, killed the engine, and you just sat there. 5 minutes, maybe 10. Hands on the wheel. The garage light is off. Nobody is waiting. You are done for the day. So why can't you get out of the car? Because the math does not work on the other side of the door. Tomorrow starts the same loop. You say I've got it to your boss. You say no problem to the coworker who dumped a late Friday ask on Monday morning. You say sure to the Slack message you should have left on read. You are the useful one. The person things get handed to because you actually do them. The one who does not say no. The person whose name comes up when something is urgent and nobody else can be trusted. And here is the thing nobody tells you. You were trained for this before you could question it. Useful people are kept. Useless people are discarded. Every school report, every performance review, every adult who smiled and said you're so reliable, they all reinforced the same message. Make yourself useful. That is how you survive. So you made yourself very, very useful, and it worked. Until it started costing more than it paid. The more useful you are, the more you get used. The more you get used, the more tired you get, and you cannot put it down. Because useful has quietly become the only way you know who you are. The self-optimization industry has a beautiful answer for this. Read the books, build atomic habits, do deep work, level up your skills, become so good they cannot ignore you, be indispensable. Every one of these books optimizes the exact same variable, how to make yourself more useful, and none of them ask the one question that matters. Useful to whom, and at what cost to you? Because here is what happens when you become more useful at executing tasks. Your employer captures the extra output. The system keeps running on your overfunction. The quarterly targets get hit because you worked through a weekend, and each time, the baseline shifts. Last year's heroics are this year's standard. The bar moves, but it only moves up. You alone carry the burnout, the lost evenings, the slowly eroding sense that you are running a race with no finish line. In 2019, the World Health Organization described burnout in ICD-11 as an occupational phenomenon, not a medical condition, but a workplace stress syndrome specific enough that it had to be named. The advice sounds noble: discipline, growth, mastery, and it is not wrong. But it is also extremely convenient for the people who need a steady supply of dependable people who cannot say no. Becoming more useful at doing what you are told does not buy you safety. It raises your extraction rate. And if the thing you are good at is copyable, well, that exact usefulness can be outsourced, automated, or hired cheaper. The more replaceable the task, the more you accelerate your own replacement. You feel it in your chest most nights. The low hum of being the one everyone counts on, with nobody counting on you back. You need a different question. About 2,300 years ago, a man named Zhuangzi saw this trap and wrote The Way Out. Not as a philosophy lecture, as a story about a tree. Master carpenter craftsman Shi was walking through Qi with his apprentice. They passed a giant oak being used as a village shrine tree. Its shade covered thousands of oxen. Its trunk was dozens of arm spans around. Whole armies could rest under it and not touch each other's shoulders. The apprentice stopped and stared. "Master, look at that timber. We have to cut it down." The carpenter did not even slow down. "That tree is worthless. The wood warps too much to make a beam. It splits if you try to shape it into furniture. The sap burns with so much smoke you cannot use it as firewood. It is useless for everything." "But it's huge," the apprentice said. "How did it get so old?" "That," the carpenter said, "is exactly why it is 1,000 years old." Zhuangzi lands the line with almost no spin. Everyone knows the use of the useful. Almost nobody knows the use of the useless. The oak survived, not despite being useless, but because of it. Every straight-grained useful tree nearby was cut down in its first mature season. The oak was left alone, century after century, because it was not worth the labor to cut. There is a cold logic here that is easy to miss. Usefulness on someone else's terms is not an asset you accumulate. It is a claim they have on your time and your body. The more useful you are on their terms, the more you get consumed. Look at who benefits. The people calling you reliable are not the ones paying the price. They are collecting the output while you carry the cost. The productive person looks at that tree and sees wasted potential. What a shame. Look at all that wood going to waste. That is the exact instinct that gets people cut down young. The tree is not wasting anything. It is being alive. The only thing it is wasted for is logging, and that is exactly why it is still standing. Now, you are probably sitting there thinking this sounds like a justification to stop trying. Fair. But Zhuangzi was not a slacker. He was a realist, with a very dark sense of humor, and his next character proves it. He wrote about a man named Scattered Slim. That is not a translation glitch. His name is Choli Shu, scattered and sparse. He looks like his name, chin tucked into his navel, shoulders higher than his head. His body looks like it was assembled wrong. Scattered Slim cannot do normal labor. He sews clothes and tells fortunes to scrape by. Then one day the recruiters come through his village. Every able-bodied young man, drafted for war. Some are weeping. Some try to flee. The soldiers walk past Scattered Slim without slowing down. He does not meet the standard. He is not useful for their purpose. BGA. Later the government hands out relief grain to the disabled. Scattered Slim is first in line, and they give him extra. The healthy men get sent to die in a war they did not start. The man everyone would have called broken gets fed and left alone. Play the irony as long as you like. It is almost too perfect. But the sharp edge is real. His defect was not his weakness but his survival strategy. The trait that disqualified him from the wrong thing, being used and discarded by the state, was the exact thing that protected him. I am not telling you to go injure yourself. Stay with me. The point is narrower and more useful than that. What part of you, what preference, what style, what way of working that does not fit the corporate mold, might be exactly the thing that keeps you off someone's chopping block. Surviving by being unusable is one thing, but there is a second, stronger kind of uselessness, the kind that makes you uncopyable, and that is where the wheelwright comes in. Du Quan of Qi, one of the great rulers of the spring and autumn period, is reading in his hall, old books. The words of the sages. He is studying hard. Outside, an old wheelwright named Bian is chiseling wheel joints in the yard. He walks into the hall and asks a question no ordinary laborer would dare ask. What are you reading, Your Majesty? The words of the sages. Are the sages still alive? They are long dead. Bian nods. Then you are reading their leftover dregs. The Duke nearly executes him on the spot. Explain yourself or die. Bian does not flinch. He has been cutting wheels since before the Duke was born, and he is not about to let a man half his age bully him out of a truth he has proven with his own hands for 50 years. I have made wheels my whole life, he says. The joint between the wheel and the axle has to be exactly right. Too loose, it wobbles. Too tight, it will not go on. The exactly right, not loose, not tight. My hand knows it. I can feel it, but I cannot put it into words. I cannot teach it to my own son. He cannot learn it from me no matter how many times I show him. I am 70 years old, and I am still here cutting wheels myself because the thing I know cannot be written down or handed over. That is Bian's real point. The thing you cannot write down is the only thing nobody can take from you. They cannot automate it, outsource it, or hand it to someone cheaper. It lives in your hands alone. The Duke kept reading his books, but Bian had already said the most dangerous thing in that hall. Some things are so real they cannot be transmitted. They live in the hands, in the feel, in the judgment that no manual captures. Turn this on yourself for a minute. The most valuable thing you have is probably the thing your job cannot measure. The judgment for whether a deal is real, the feel for whether a person can be trusted, the instinct for whether the timing is right. That split-second call when there is no data and you just know. That is Bian's wheel joint. It is not on any performance rubric or in any course you could take. It came from years of doing, failing, feeling and doing again. Your company only credits what can be documented, measured and replicated. So the most valuable thing about you may not even be counted in your official value. And that is exactly why it is safe. Nobody knows how to take it from you, automate it, or hire it cheaper. The uselessness in the system's ledger is irreplaceability in real life. The thing that makes you hard to consume. The thing that disqualifies you from the wrong game. The thing nobody can copy out of your hands. That is not a bug. It is the only real security you have. There is the objection you have been sitting on since the tree story. Strategic uselessness only works when the system needs you more than you need it. If you are a new grad, job hunting, building something, trying to be seen, making yourself useless just gets you ignored into oblivion. Zhuangzi knew this. He tells another story right after the useless tree. A man goes into the mountains. A useful tree gets cut for timber. He stays at an inn and his host kills a goose for dinner. The goose that could not honk. Useful dies. Useless dies. The man asks Zhuang, what is the move? Zhuang's answer is a single Chinese phrase. Live between useful and useless. Adjust. Be useful when it actually pays you. Quietly withdraw the moment your usefulness is just being harvested. That is not wisdom from a scroll. It is a practical decision you make every single day. The trick is knowing which situation you are in and having the nerve to move when the situation shifts. Here is the playbook. 4 moves you can make starting the morning after you watch this. Concrete, not theory. 1. Make yourself a little harder to consume. This is the Oaks move applied to a workday. Raise the price of your availability. Slower replies after hours. I do not have the bandwidth on the drive-by request someone could handle themselves. Let some of your output stop being instantly on tap. You are not breaking anything. You are adjusting the extraction rate to something sustainable. Lowering your usefulness to the people harvesting it is a move, not a failure, and definitely not laziness. 2. Stop sanding off the trait that disqualifies you from the wrong things. This is Scattered Slim's move. That part of you that does not fit the mold. The way you think slowly while everyone else wants speed. The thing you refuse to be fast about because fast means shallow. The preference you keep hiding because it looks unprofessional. Protect it. That edge might be exactly what keeps you off the chopping block when the system starts cleaning house. The person who is slightly weird is harder to replace than the person who is perfectly adapted to the current system, because the current system will not last. 3. Build the kind of value they cannot extract. This is Bian's move. Pour your energy into judgment, taste, and tacit skill, the undocumentable instinct about what works and what does not into being the fastest executor of copyable tasks. And here is the hard part. Do not lay all of it out in the open. Keep some in your hands. The thing you know but cannot teach is your real security. Every time you document a process so thoroughly that anyone can do your job, you have just made yourself more replaceable. Be good at your work. Be indispensable the way Bian was, because the knowing lives in you, not in the binder. 4. Read the room and lower your threat profile when the system is purging. When layoffs come. When the reorg hits. When the new regime takes over and starts looking for people to make examples of, the survivors are rarely the loudest heroes. They are the ones who did not make themselves a target. There is an obscure story from Han Dynasty China, a minor official named Shi Fen, who entered service under Gaozu as a 15-year-old, and lived into Emperor Wu's reign after a long career through the Wen and Jing courts. The Han court was one of the bloodiest political environments of the ancient world. He survived by extreme caution and deference, never making himself visible enough to become a problem. He was not weak. He understood something that ambitious people often miss. In certain rooms, the winning move is to not be noticed. Survival is a win, and it gives you the one thing you cannot get back: time. Here is the truth the self-optimization industry does not want you to find out. Being useful is not free. Every hour you give to one system is an hour you take from yourself. And the question, how do I become more valuable, is the wrong question if you never ask who gets to decide what valuable means. Next time you feel used up, sitting in the car, hands on the wheel, too tired to get out, do not ask whether you are trying hard enough. Ask whether you should let yourself be a little more useless right here. Not because you are lazy, because some uses are not worth being used for. The oak lived 1,000 years because it was worthless to everyone who passed by. Bian could not teach his son because his skill could not be written down. Scattered Slim was handed grain while the useful men were marched to their graves. The reframe is sharp but clean. The people who need you to be useful are not the same people who benefit when you are whole. If you never ask who your usefulness serves, you are volunteering to be consumed and calling it success.